Hi everyone, this is Aditya. Today our tutorial 2 are on Cucumber using a Java Selenium WebDriver. So in that tutorial I will cover the basics of Gherkin language, right, and what is the Gherkin annotations, writing a feature file in Eclipse, and then scenarios and scenario outlines using data tables, then creating step definition classes, then executing the feature file. Okay. So first let me tell you what is the Gherkin language. Gherkin language can be taken as a core of a Cucumber tool that helps Cucumber to interpret and execute test script written on its basis. Okay, and it's a simple English text language that helps the user understanding about the detailed requirement of a project. So let me tell you something. So why we need to use the Gherkin language? First is first, because it's a simple English readable text language. Then why we use Gherkin? As I have told earlier that in case of the BDD framework, people from different community are getting involved in designing the test script. Okay, like from developers, project managers, product owners, and testers. They all from different community get involved in designing the test script and developing the test script. Okay, so all these people from different community doesn't belong to the same category. Okay, so if you use from developer perspective, if you use some particular language tester, your product owners, your product managers, they won't be able to identify this technical language if the developer use. Okay, right? So in that case, why not using that common language that is readable for all, and it can be better for conceptualizing the test script. Okay, so this is the base point evaluation of the Gherkin language. This is a common language that can be interpreted among the different communities. So in Gherkin language, every requirement it may be provided by your client, or based on the requirement, we need to write our own Gherkin feature file, and then we need to do the next stage automation or defining the step difference classes. So in Gherkin language, we use several annotations like feature, scenario outlines, given, when, then, but, and examples and background. So let me tell you what is feature. The feature is the main business functionality, the main business functionality that we are going to cover. Suppose taking an example for as a bank, payment is a functionality. Under payment functionality, there can be several sub functionalities. So feature can be taken as the payment can be taken as a feature, main feature. Well, scenario, under one feature there may be a several scenario, like under payment you can do a normal payment, you can do a card payment, right? You can do auto pay payment. So different scenario will be there under the feature. And what is the scenario outline? Scenario and scenario outline is kind of same, but instead in the scenario outline we will be using data tables. Okay, so here comes the scenario outline, which will be utilized using the data tables. Then the simple text will come as given certain condition will be given, and when this condition will satisfied, then I will get display, this will get displayed, but this won't get display. And examples background, example will be we will be using with the data tables, and background for specific cases, like for a database connection we need to do some background connection check that we can do in the background portions. So all this annotation we need to mention in the Gherkin file. Okay, everything has been given according to your requirement. You have to design your Gherkin annotations and proceed with that. And there are several special annotation also provided, like this one. Sorry, these annotations for data tables, and at the rate is for custom tag, hash will be for commenting, and the triple double could will be for docstring. Docstring stands for, like, if you want to pass a huge text as an argument, like for you went to your website and you want to check website context total, what is the total content of a particular web page on a website. So if you want to pass that huge content as an argument, then you need to use the docstring. So I will show you details about these things. uh, then I'll show you what is the writing basic feature for an Eclipse. So let me show you. So this is my Eclipse window, and I have earlier set up as a Cucumber Maven project in the previous part, and I have set up this using the Maven form XML. Okay, so in that case, I have created a separate folder like SRC test resource. In that SRC test resource, I'll be mentioning, I'll be designing, creating all the feature file inside the test resource, and all my test will be carried out in that SRC test Java. And if any base class is there, you need to mention in the SRC test main. Okay, So let me create a first feature file here. So on the SRT test resource, I'm creating a feature file. Let it name as a demo.feature. Finish. Oh, it's telling like a resource execute different case. So demo.feature. Okay. With the same name. Mm, I created already, I guess. Yeah. Let me refresh my project. Okay, so this the demo feature I have created earlier. So everything has been detailed there, like hash will be used for commenting, and every tag, features, scenario, everything has been given. So I mean, first you need to create feature file, then we'll simply run it. Okay, and we'll see what is going to happen if you run it. Before run it, do the run, go to the run configurations and demo.feature feature for this. Okay, let me run it. It's a bit slow. Okay, so we can see that if you write a feature file and simply run it in the console window, we are seeing that this is my console window. So whatever we have written in the feature file, so everything is printed in the console window stating that feature tag everything, and it's given us the options. You can implement missing step with the snippet below, because we have simply written our feature file, but we haven't defined any implementation of the features, right? We haven't defined any step definitions of these features. So everything like I'm delivering an example like for title of a scenario. Even I want to write a step definition of precautions. For this, every line need to define in a step definition of classes. So what is the step definition of classes? Let me tell you some one example like well let me delete that. Okay, so see, this is one a simple feature file. So what I'm doing here, a given background as given, like given I'm a valid set of data and access to the registration page, and the feature is user registration in the Mercury flight site. Okay, so registration is a custom tag I have used that will be used in the test runner classes, and the scenario are validating single user registration. So when registration page is displayed, then I enter validator on page, then click on submit button, then thank you for registering should be displayed, then click on sign up, close the browser. See, if you simply just pass this feature file, it will tell us that whatever the step I have mentioned, like this step, yeah, this step, those all steps are missing, right? Why those steps are missing? Because I haven't implemented any of this test step, right? So whatever the feature file we'll be writing, we all need to mention in a single step definition classes. So if you write one feature file like when registration page is displayed, you need to mention whatever the implementation of it in his class, in the class. So this is there is comes the step definition class. So whatever the feature we will be writing, everything need to maintain the step definition class that I have maintained here. Mm, yeah, step definitions in that you have to do the define the whatever the annotation you have used. For each and every annotation you have to design the step definition classes. So I mean, let us quick write a test script for that. Mm, and name it as a like registration sales market at site. Given a value, okay, this is fine. Registration page display. Okay. Enter. I'm not taking this. This is data tables. I'll come on later on it. So I mean, see, this is simply our feature file. Uh, enter valid data, then enter valid data, click on submit. Ignore this one, I will come to it later. Click on click sign off. Why I'm changing this, because I have already implemented the same in our in the separate feature file. So if I run this, it will go to the same step different classes and will fetch the class definition from it. So that's why I have changed it. Okay, so see, seeing here your registrations in flights in process. Uh, okay, so suppose you have written a simple feature file that will do the registration in the Mercury flight site, and whatever we are going to do, that given I have a valid set of data and access, then single registration process will be doing. This is the scenario I'm going to validate. The when registration page display, then I will enter valid data, then I will click on submit, then click on sign up and close. Okay, so if we simply save and run it, confirmation one and check demo feature, everything is okay. Okay. Mm, run as Cucumber feature. Yeah, so we can see if we are using the pretty formatter for the run cases. That's why I'm able to see all the scenario also itself. Okay, so here in the snippet I can able to see, I mean, that it's been given that you can implement the missing step with the snippet below, like whatever the step I have mentioned. Like for the given step I have a valid set of data and access, then when registration page display, and then I enter valid data, then click on submit, then I click on sign off. Okay, so everything, and then close also, that I mentioned close here. So um, so everything is mentioned here. Okay, so each and every line we have written in feature file, we need to mention in the step difference classes. Okay, so after designing the step difference classes, when you will run it, then it will run successfully. Okay, so let me copy this one. You can change the method name also. I mean, void registration page display, whatever the method name is showing, like enter validator, you can change the method name, but make sure that inside portion, like inside the annotation portion, that will be same. If you change it, it won't be able to identify the line. Okay, so like if you it's given like registration page display, you need to exactly mention the same registration page display. As in Cucumber, it's syntax specific. If you change any things, I mean, it will prompt us some error. Okay, so let me copy the missing snippet. Okay, I've copied. So right now I'm writing my own step difference class in the cucumber.test packages. So inside I will create one Java class, simple. So let me name it as a step definition demo. Finish. So here we are almost done. Let me copy my things here. Okay. So I'm showing you how what you're gonna do in that feature file. We'll simply go to this page, like take it as example, not go to the home page first. Well, we'll simply go to this page and then we'll click on the register button, and upon clicking the registration button it will given us the options to enter all the details. Okay, we'll simply, let us take an example, we'll simply enter as a username field, I mean I'm entering myself Aditya. Then we'll enter the valid data like three data I'm entering. For your case you will you can enter all the details there, but click on, then we are clicking on the submit button. Okay, okay, and after the submit button then we're doing the sign off. Okay, so registration is successful, then we are closing the browser. So inside that one portion I have skipped, that after the registration process is done, thank you for registering, text will be displayed. That I have skipped, that I'll cover later. You can mention different step also, like then if user enter valid data, then user will be able to see this that. Okay, so what is the step difference classes? Yes, this is a step difference classes. So I'm using Firefox here. So first I need to define the Firefox driver instantiating. Uh, Let me name it as a uh, valid user check. Okay, you can write your own code inside that. Okay, for the timing I'm not writing, I'm simply writing this way: system dot out dot println valid user something else. So what about the annotation we use? We need to import for that. Import given, then import when cucumber API Java when, then import then, and yeah, and for pending expressions we can also need to import the same if it's thrown any pending expressions. I hope this is not gonna occur. So those are the class, and for web driver let me import. Okay, so and when the registration page display, so registration display, this is the code. So how we are going to navigate to the registration page? So just a quick, let me import everything. Okay, so importing is complete, and inside that I also have to mention uh, the driver classes. Right? So I've already written it. Either you can create instantiate the Firefox driver classes here also, or you can do the registration page also. So better approach, you should mention, I mean, all these kind of driver related instantiations should be carried out in before and after tag. That is called hooks. I will come to the next session for hooks and custom tag. Okay. So as for timing, I'm doing this. deleted portions. So what we are doing, we are creating one instant variable driver for WebDriver, and we are calling this instance of Firefox driver. We are simply writing in console output like test terminal setup, tag name registrations. That are the simple tag name I've given. This is a tag name, and in the next steps in the registration page display, we'll simply write that we use the wait property that so we simply use the wait property to check the if the element is if the element is element to be is clickable or not. I mean, you can define several types of property, like if the element is on the page, is enabled, is not enabled, is clickable, is selectable. So different attributes you can check. So in that case, I mentioned if the element is within the 10-second mentions, we're checking that the element is clickable or not, and if it is clickable, then we're clicking it. So ignore that part. So it's a simple JavaScript I've written for this element link text register. What it will be doing, if I click on the register link, as I mentioned, target attributes itself, so it will open the, in case if you click on the register, if it is open in the new window, so I want my new page to be open in the same window. See, suppose in some cases you have noticed that if you click on the register link, it's getting open in the new window. So that's why I use the JavaScript, small JavaScript here, mentioning the target to itself. So it will let the Selenium WebDriver to open the registration link in the same window. Okay. So in the next, I'm entering the valid details. So enter valid data. Enter valid data. So what I'm going to enter. So first, for that we need this. We need this field expert, right? Username, fine. So these are the three fields: expert or CS selector. I need to, I need to check, and what I've already written here. Well, send case. I'm not passing the data tables right now. Pass it like here. Test 1, 3. I must tell you that if you're doing like this, or like if you're sending password in a same string format, this is not a good practice to do at the project environment. Better you need to create one encryption method that would encrypt your password, and then you will pass the encrypted password directly. Okay, so uh, it don't disclose the password, I mean, in your code. It's a bit helpless. As just I'm showing you, just I'm using the normal method, just passing the string password format. Then I click on submit button. For the submit button, this is the submit button. So if we define the XPath, the input tag name will be registered. So I have already defined the register submit button. This is the one. So clicking on submit, then clicking on sign off. Clicking on sign off. Well, and in that I will simply close the driver. Okay. So I mean, let me copy this one. Test environment destroyed. Destroyed. Sorry. And if driver not equal to null, then what I will be doing? Let me write it inside that. Driver dot close and then driver dot quit, or you can mention the driver dot quit itself. Okay, it's a good practice, like if you use the close and then quit, but do not use to close after quit, then it will give you some error. Let me uncheck it. Okay, so see for this feature file and if you refresh that, let me refresh my, go to the right click and send pretty format. See, now it not giving us any exclamations, a warning sign, right? So why? So every step I have mentioned the step definition classes in the step definition demo.java that has been placed under the com.cucumber.test packages. Okay. Mm, we are not handling these exceptions, so let me organize my imports pending exceptions. So see, for demo feature, for given I have a valid set of data and access that I have mentioned here in this method, I have a given valid set of data and access, and in this method what I am doing, I'm opening the Firefox, okay, and then a console output is getting printed, that test environment setup. In the next line, when registration page is getting displayed, that I mentioned in that portions, that registration sorry, registration page displayed. So in that mentioned, I've used the JavaScript executor property, and I find the element link text register and clicking on it, and it is opening the same window. And in the next basis, then enter valid data, click on submit, click on sign up. So everything I mentioned, different steps. Enter valid data I'm entering, and submit button, sign up and close. Okay, so I mean, so let's now run this feature file. Let me check the configuration first. What are the configurations? Yeah, project feature path is same. Make sure the feature path is exactly the same feature they are referring. Sometimes it's, you may find that another test resource is referring the different feature, so you may get either error or it will run the different feature file. So make sure you check your run configuration before running it. Okay, now click on run. Yeah, so as we can see, Firefox browser is getting opened. Let's wait for a while. Oh, sorry, I have skipped one thing. Sorry. Mm, sorry. I have mentioned the driver, but I forget to provide the URL. Driver. Let me provide it inside that. Okay. Driver dot navigate dot to. So URL, I'll be using that URL. I haven't mentioned the evolve earlier, that's why it's showing an issue. So let me run it again. Mm, Everything's fine. It is well. So it's navigating to the site pages, and it's providing all the inputs, and it's just clicking, then it will close the browser. See, let me maximize this. So mm, so this is our feature file. For each feature file, each step definition has been mentioned, and it just passed our cases. Okay, total 6 step I have mentioned here. 6 step. So simply pass the cases. Okay, given I have a given set of valid data, and it's navigating to this method. Let me check why it is showing that the clicking on sign off. So I can see lots of unnecessary text are getting displayed. Okay, so let me go back to my step classes. Well, first this one I'm removing. Don't need this. Next. Well, oh, it's coming from the tag. See, tag is useful if you used to run, several feature file at a single tag. That then you can mention tag, and for each and every tag, you need to call different method like before, after. You can set up also hooks, which tag need to be passed, and what need to be done after test. Okay, so I'm removing this tag because I mentioned it in other step difference classes. See, in that before method, I have mentioned the same tag. That's why it was getting printed at the console output at that time. So I have removed my tag, and let me do one thing. Hmm, I want to open it as a maximize window. Well, so let me run again this feature file. One more thing I want to tell that while running you can use a different formatter like pretty formatter, progress formatter, JSON. But JSON is one of the popular formatter you can use. So far I have used the pretty formatter. You can also use the other formatter also. Okay, and monochrome. If you don't use monochrome, using the monochrome it will be more readable to the user. See, if you don't use the monochrome, how it will be. So I'm running the feature file. Mm, let's do it. Okay, so browser open and maximized. Providing username password, confirmation clicking submit, and then browser getting closed. Okay, so the pretty formatter, and I haven't used the monochrome. See what I'm getting exactly. So it's not that much readable, right? So in that case, if you use that monochrome and then apply and run it, you can use the other formatter also. Check it on yourself. So now using the petty formatters, the feature is getting printed. Now let's search for the Firefox to open. So it's successfully closed. So let me see the output, what I'm getting. So for this is the feature file. For this feature file, for every annotations and annotations, the method I mentioned, the step different classes is getting called and it is getting printed in the console output. And clicking on sign up button, this I have mentioned here in the if you just go to the step different class of the particular annotation, then click on that as select on that annotation sentence and click F3. Yeah, just go to the and step. See, here I've mentioned not this one, not this one. Click on sign up. Going to the step. In the step, I mentioned that system or print. Clicking on, and that text should get displayed. So that's the text. Clicking on sign up, that text is getting displayed. That get text. Okay. So in the demo feature, I haven't covered any assertion or verifications. So in your case, you can cover like when you navigate to the registration page, some registration link should be displayed, username field should be pre-populated, yeah, yeah, email address should be given, email address should be 24 bit length, 24 character length, everything explicitly you need to provide different verification assertion you can provide, like when I'm reviewing this page, then mm, let me open that first. Okay, register page. Well, so you can do the simple verification, like if you open the registration page, this text should get displayed, right? So then verify the text in registration. So simple way you need to create, if you just do the pretty format, save it. See, it's giving us the exclamation sign that we haven't defined the step decision classes of this step, right? If you hover over this, so it's giving the step verify the text in the registrations doesn't have a matching glue code. We don't have any valid step definitions for this. So whatever the things you need to verify or assert, you can create in this feature file, and then accordingly you have to do all this kind of verification assertions in that step definitions classes. Okay, so I'm not creating one spread file here. So I've covered writing a basic feature file and running it successfully. Now I'm going to tell you how to use the data table. Okay. So for data table, here I'm entering the valid data like username, password, and confirm password. Now I will be using the data table. So if you use the data table, like let me use that option. Let it be what it is. Just click on that petty format. It will be auto arranged. So this symbol, I told you this was specifically for data table symbol. So in that enter valid data, I mentioned the username Aditya, password is test123, confirm password test123. Okay. So this thing I also have to mention the step definition file classes. Sorry. So go to the find step and enter valid data. Here for what we are sending data table object. So mention, you have to mention data table user data or user details. User details. Okay. And from here I need to mention So here in this method I'm passing data table user details argument, and I have also to provide this also, this one, some user details. So I mean it's a basically a list. It's a list that you're taking. So this is string element. I mean we are storing the string in the list, taking as a variable, taking as a variable data, or not variable, taking as object data. So list string object data, we are storing the user details from the raw data table. Okay, and I've mentioned, I've created one loop for that, like from counter I equal to 0, it will start data table the size. What is the size? 3, total 3 row and 2 column size. So it will get incremented, and it will get us in the console output that output. Okay, I mean each and every, I mean, we are printing the whole data table actually. Okay, so explicitly I also mentioned here, instead of writing the test1 3, I need to mention uh, this one is the first row, first column. This one is the second row, first column. Third row, first column. First, I mean starting columns can be considered as a 0. So this will be first, what will be my second row. This is my third row. So I have set up the valid details method. Here we are taking as a data object of the list string, where we are taking object of the list, where I was taking string variable to put the data, and fetching the data inside that loop, and it is converted to string, and we are passing those data inside the web element. Okay, so let's see if we run that. Everything is fine. So browser getting opened. So this is our console output. So we can see that for these features in the background executed, and this is the data table, username, password, confirm password. Okay, that I've mentioned here. I want to print all the raw element of that data table in the console output using this loop. That's why it's getting printed here. And there's a simple text verifications that I've mentioned earlier, and this is our case. So total 6 steps, one scenario, and it's passed. Total 47 seconds it's took. Uh, so this is it about the all data table object and how to create data table. And if it's a string, so I mean accordingly, if it's a, I mean here all the elements of the data table is string. So I mentioned data table as a string, list string. It may depend, like if you want to pass only integer variable, then I have to mention integer, and you have to create accordingly the object also for that. Okay, so I have covered, so as of now, writing a basic feature file and including the data table also inside that feature file, And the next sessions I will cover in the next session I will cover writing a scenario outline using data tables and also the parameterizations and the runner classes. Okay, so thank you for watching.